Scattered over a vast expanse of water lie the islands of the Pacific. While the islands are considered to be large ocean states, they are, however, small, and due to their geography and isolation, are vulnerable to natural disasters such as cyclones and droughts. The European Union has been a fervent supporter and partner to Pacific countries over many decades. The partnership with Pacific governments is an important one.
And this is exactly what makes our future partnership so special. Strengthening our direct political relationship and tailoring our cooperation to each region so that we can work together on specific needs and challenges in the interest and benefit of our people. I have no doubt that this will make us stronger in our journey to achieve sustainable development for all.
Climate change is a global issue, and the Pacific Island countries are some of the most vulnerable. Pacific countries and the EU are committed partners in the fight against climate change and disasters. Narikoso, a coastal village on the island of Kondavu in Fiji, is confronted with coastal erosion, resulting in several houses needing to be relocated.
More recently, the Narikoso village in Fiji has had to relocate, and actually GIZ have supported this relocation. But yes, due to the climate hazards that are happening in the world today, the sea is rising. I think that relocation will be a big challenge and a big issue in the future.
So based on the vulnerability assessment, we identified areas that were termed as the red zone and others that were in the safe zone. So the red zone is what determined the number of houses who are to be part of the relocation in Narikoso village.
Adapting to climate change and sustainable energy, or ACSE as it is known, is one of several projects of the European Union implemented by GIZ in partnership with the Fiji National Disaster Management Office, or NDMO.
So I think the European Union plays a big part in supporting countries like Fiji in addressing climate adaptation in the region.
One of the core values of the European Union is supporting the rule of law and the respect for human rights. The justice sector is one of the main avenues that the EU is using to strengthen democratic governments.
The Access to Justice program in Fiji is a very important program for the European Union as it supports the governance sector in Fiji since 2016. It's a 4-year program, and its objective is essentially to improve the service delivery in terms of justice, service and access to justice for the citizen.
We have opened up branches throughout Fiji, as many places as possible. And what we also do is we conduct community awareness programs. So making sure that if the members of the public cannot come to us, we go to them. We want to ensure that no Fijian is left behind in pursuit of making sure that they have equal access to justice. So having access to justice is one thing, but having equal access to justice is another.
In the spirit of leaving no one behind, the European Union has undertaken a firm commitment in Fiji to provide specific support to those persons who live with disabilities.
Sustainable use of marine resources is another area of cooperation between the EU and the Pacific. The Pacific-EU Marine Partnership is a very important program, one that will be implemented through different organizations in the region.
This program, the Pacific European Union Marine Partnership, will try to work at different levels with different stakeholders, covering oceanic fisheries, covering coastal fisheries, working with the community to empower them to play an important role in the management of the resources, working with the private sector that has an important role to play to increase the benefit from the fisheries coming from the Pacific, and working, of course, with the countries and the competent authorities.
An important component of the program is building the capacity of the stakeholders. A Pacific Regional Fisheries Inspectors Training Workshop was recently held in Fiji.
The focus is to develop the capacity of our Pacific Islands the countries that are already exporting to the European Union, and also the countries that are pursuing other markets in understanding market requirements, and also in the application of those requirements in those countries. To be honest, without the European Union in the last couple of years, we wouldn't have come up this far, because they've really helped us.
Gender equality is an important value enshrined in the European political and legal framework. In the Pacific, one of the issues that has drawn the attention of the EU for a long time is the issue of violence against women and girls.
Years, months of experiencing violence, that she finally gets the courage to walk through our doors and ask for help.
The Pacific Partnership to End Violence Against Women is also unique in the way that for the first time we have a partnership between the European Union, institution government of the Pacific region, but also UN agencies, what we call the CROPS agencies, so the Pacific Island Forums, the Secretary of the Pacific Communities. But we also have a partnership with the Australian. So the Australian have also joined this program, and together we are committing towards this important cause.
With this particular project and with the European Union support, we have been able to work out a new partnership strategy which engages FWRM with community-based organizations such as faith-based groups, self-help groups, farmers groups, trade unions, and other organizations, so that we take what we know to them.
The Pacific offers for that a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of practices, and this is something that we are not, as European Union, trying to bring external model, but we are actually really trying to promote the best possible approaches that suit the Pacific.
The rights to water and sanitation in the world is an important one for the European Union. Working across the Pacific region, the EU is trying to reach the most vulnerable areas, ensuring that no one is left behind.
Well, there's a huge demand for water and sanitation projects in the region. There are many partners involved. Of course, we have to select priorities, and we cannot attend all needs in all countries, so we have to select and to focus in the priorities of the countries. So yes, we have been engaged in water and sanitation because this was the demand of the countries. I think that probably in the future we will continue working with it, because I think it's still a priority for many.
We would like to acknowledge the tremendous support from the European Union, because out of the National Indicative Program allocation, we were able to access other sources of funding that we have all integrated into the water and sanitation sector.
Public finance management and budget support are areas where the EU is working closely with governments to assist with the development and implementation of their national strategies.
Budget support is a modality where we can relatively quickly enhance funding. So if there is a disaster, like it was the case for Fiji or for Vanuatu, we have an ongoing budget support. We can very easily add another 20% under a disaster management program and provide the funding to the government under budget support. So they get quickly funding directly for the reconstruction recovery phase.
These two key areas of budget support also support the development of the various sectors towards the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs.
These SDGs are also the basis of the national development strategies of those countries. Each of those 15 ACP countries here in the Pacific has a development strategy, a national development strategy based on the SDGs.
The European Union is committed to supporting the Pacific leaders' vision for a region that is peaceful and secure. A region where there is stronger economic integration and where sustainable management of natural resources and the environment is maintained.